We're gonna call this meeting to order. This is the DDA meeting, Wednesday, May 15th, 2024 at 6 p.m. And right now, we will do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Brian, do you mind doing roll call?
Sure. Mr. Neiman, absent. Mr. Milzo, absent. Trustee Morocco.
Here.
Supervisor Aliaga.
Here.
Mr. Gittens.
Here.
Ms. Petzold.
Here.
Ms. Harper.
Here.
Mr. Zatuna.
Here.
And Mr. Yankee is absent.
All right, very good. So first agenda item, we're going to approve the minutes. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes for March 20th, 2024.
I second the motion from the chairman.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Secondly, we need to approve the minutes for April 30th, 2024, the special meeting that we held recently.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope. All right, very good. So our presentation today, really, I just wanted to get us together. It's going to be hopefully a short meeting, but we had two subcommittee meetings. We had a subcommittee meeting to where we met and talked about the entry signs, what our slogan would be, what's the logo going to look like, what kind of ideas do we have, and then we had a secondary subcommittee meeting, and that group talked about what's the location. Next week, on Tuesday, the board is going to make a vote to see if we will purchase that plot of land that we discussed last time we met. And so I just I'm going to talk about the subcommittee with the sign and logo and slogan. And I don't know if, Sam, were you kind of the person in charge of the land subcommittee?
I don't know if I was in charge. I provided the beverages. So
I think that makes you in charge.
okay, I was in charge then. Yes.
Yeah. So real quickly, I kind of emailed this out, but I printed something out for you guys. What we discussed at our subcommittee meeting, me, Kim, and yes.
We should do public comment first.
It's public comment first. Okay. We do have some public comment. Thank you, Brian. From Oakland Thrive. I think you're muted. Oh, there you go.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, great. Well, thank you so much for allowing me to speak with your organization. My name is Joyce. I'm with Oakland Thrive, and we are a nonprofit organization that was created to help women, minority, and veteran-owned businesses. However, we do help all businesses within Oakland County. We are 2 years old, and before we came into existence, there was an organization called the One Stop Shop, where business owners in Oakland County went to Waterford to get services, and there were about 400 to 600 business owners a year that were able to get services. Well, David Coulter and his team said that's just not enough. We need to expand our reach. And Oakland Thrive has 16 different consultants around Oakland County. And my role is in Independence Township as well as Clarkston. So we've helped 78,000 businesses so far. And you're probably wondering, well, how can we help you as a business owner? Well, there are three ways. The first way is we can connect you with free community resources. So let's say you just started a business. We can connect you with an organization that will take you through step by step. Or maybe you need ongoing help in accounting or taxes, or maybe you're looking for a particular certification. We can help with that. Number two, we can help with training and education. We do provide workshops and seminars, both live and virtually. And the last point, which is really the most exciting thing to me, is that Oakland Thrive will pay for 2 hours of a professional's services on your behalf. So let's say you have a contract, you need a lawyer to look it over. We will provide 2 hours of time with a lawyer. or you're deciding, should I stay in LLC or incorporate? What should my entity be? We will pay for 2 hours of services with an accountant or someone in taxes. Maybe you want to revise your social media, or you need a marketing strategist, someone from IT or human resources. We will fund that for you. So that's a little bit about Oakland Thrive, and I would be glad to give you my contact information if you'd like to have a meeting and get started in the program.
Yeah, absolutely. What's your contact information, or you can share it with Brian?
Yeah, sure. I can give you my phone number. That's probably the easiest, and then I'll share it with Brian. My number is 248-933-5843.
Okay, thank you very much, Joyce. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you for allowing me to be here.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, bye-bye.
Back to the subcommittee. So, the subcommittee for entry signs, slogans, the piece of paper that I had shared with you guys. So we kind of just put some ideas down on the whiteboard. For the image, we were thinking, Liberty Bell theme. Obviously, we're Independence Township, so that kind of sticks. It goes along with our new logo. Secondly, we had mentioned one of our first meetings that we would maybe do an art piece. We could get the schools involved, we could get students involved in creating an art piece that might come together, whether it's a sculpture or a painting or something like that. We could have a contest in regards to that. I believe, Kim, you had brought up powder coating because it tends to last longer. We don't want something that's going to rust or fade quickly, so that's something to keep in mind. And then lastly, we had mentioned wanting to do seasonal flags, up and down the light posts, and the 4 seasons that we had considered were Independence Day, Christmas, spring flowers, and then the harvest. Now, some of the slogans that we discussed, amongst the few of us that were at the subcommittee meeting, one of our favorites was "Where Tradition Meets Tomorrow," and Kim had just sent an email, and then my secondary favorite, maybe my first favorite now, is "Experience Independence." I thought that was pretty great. So these, this meeting is just kind of to toss around some brainstorming ideas, kind of see where each subcommittee was coming from, and then, if this project gets approved, then we'll have an idea of what direction we're going to go. So other slogan ideas: Freedom United, Small Town Feel, Hometown Feel, Neighbor, Hometown Destination, Independent Destination, Hometown Meets Tomorrow, Bringing Independence Together, Independence and Community, Finding Independence Together, Building Independence Together, My Independence, like MI, like Michigan, Achieving Independence, and this one's a joke, but not Clarkston. Independence Township, not Clarkston. So other ideas we talked about were on the north side. Once we get to that stage, maybe putting a splash pad or something. Incorporating parks, which is something that we kind of wanted to do with this location closer to Andersonville, and social destinations, maybe benches or stone picnic tables. So that's kind of the snapshot of what we went through. And then also I shared, and I meant to share with Brian so he could have on the screen, but just some visuals of what signs could look like. And the first one is my personal favorite. But it's, maybe instead of having this circle up here, we could do a Liberty Bell or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty eye-catching. The second one is kind of more of a pillar. And then I attached the images that Sam provided last time we met of designs that they had already gone over in the last strive to put together the DDA. So, any questions or comments about that, or?
No, I think it's great. You guys, I'm happy that you got that far along with it.
Yeah.
So, I think a lot of these, few of these good possible names.
The not Clarkston one?
I like that one, probably my favorite, but
That's the funniest one.
Right,
I like
maybe
it.
in smaller print along the bottom,
There
you
you
know?
Yeah.
Hashtag not Clarkston.
right. Yes.
Well, they're part of us, we're part of them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you guys did a good job on this part of it.
Okay. Did you guys did hold a meeting, for location? Like what type of locations? Did you guys brainstorm anything outside of what we already are attempting to
No, I
purchase?
mean, that's the south end corridor there on that parcel, south of the Sportsman's is really checked all the boxes, you know? It's big enough to become a pocket park. It's at the entrance. Any other building wouldn't be, would just be too expensive to obtain, cause everything's occupied, or not in Independence. There was, Dick had brought up with me, in a conversation that we had about it, about the mass transit, that we're paying, $1.8 million a year for the mass transit millage. And I talked to some people at the county and economic development and stuff, and that they're working on a program to start figuring out how to get the grants and like how that's gonna work, since they got all of our money without a plan. We wanna be part of the plan. One of his ideas, which I thought was a great idea, is to try to get the county to participate in this entranceway park as a stop for the mass transit, so that maybe we could get sheltered, covered benches, and also county money to help offset the cost of the improvements of the site. I mean, if we're being told they're gonna bring the bus up here someday, I think that it's proactive of us to find a spot that's suitable for it, big enough for it, and makes sense to have it be a spot, because it's right in the beginning of the township and at the end of Waterford, so we're not sure, the proximity to the LA Cafe, to the walking area, there is nowhere to stop on Sashaba for people that do walk and run. We got a lot of fitness facilities. Even today, I must have saw 30 people running down the sidewalks at Dixie Highway. It would be a nice place for people to stop or the turnaround point, to come back or something like that. And just a place to hang out. The proximity to the oldest cemetery in Waterford, which also has founding family members of Clarkston pre-Civil War back to 1800 that are only 100 yards away from it. So it seems to be the biggest, the best option. And with your negotiating, I think that the price is more than reasonable. And not to forget that we're only going to be paying for about half of it because of the tax capture. So we are actually, by doing this, we are getting some mass transit money back. We're getting money from Oakland University, the county taxes, from us business owners that operate businesses on the district. So that is good. And like at the last meeting, this is probably going to be the biggest in-your-face character change of this U.S. highway that we would be able to pull off in one swoop and quickly, and in my opinion, very affordably. I just think it's an awesome opportunity, and then I'm glad the township's supporting us to at least have the offer on hold until we can get board support. And I'm confident that the board's going to see the value in what we're proposing, or I hope so.
Okay.
I did want to, I'm not sure if we had talked about, or if we should do it, out of the meeting of how the presentation's going to work and who's going to do it, for that, when we go to ask the township to do that.
Yeah,
Brian, if you could.
yeah, Sam, we're coming Tuesday, the next board meeting, and basically Dick and it's Jose's item, but Dick and I will be there to basically discuss it, go through it, the way it's being set up is through an intergovernmental agreement, because obviously the DDA sunsets at a certain point, so it would still be a township asset, and essentially the DDA would lease it. And over the course of 3 years, we basically pay for it through TIF money. And then it's like $1 a year for the rest of the life of the DDA. So that's how we propose to do it.
And by the way that these guys structured it with a 3-year payoff, which I think is a great idea, is that we've already brought in enough money this year that, you know, we can't pay for it, but we could make a third of a payment on it. And then by doing it that way,
Save some money.
we don't need to go to the township and ask them to loan us more money to start making the site improvements, because we would have it in our budget, because we've amortized the buy of the property over 3 years. So it's gonna give us a lot more flexibility to move faster, and have our own budget and have our own funds to quickly, you know, bring it down and start the process of cleaning it up while we're finalizing the details of it. So I think that's gonna be better too for the town, for the board, because that way we can, we're not constantly going and asking, can we have a little bit more, can we have a little bit more? We'll have the money in our budget this way for the next 3 years to make all the improvements we need to finish the project.
Mhm.
So that was a good way of framing it, to make it more fluid for us to get it done, you know?
All right. And you have something, you have a comment?
No, San spoke for me, so. I
Okay.
don't have anything else to add. Thank you,
Alright.
San.
So, does anybody have any input on the subcommittees? You know, this really just wanted to get together for the sake of our agreement to get together every 2 months. Yes.
I have a question about something Dick brought up, as far as the development on the north end of the DDA area,
Mhm.
and already having like a little area where the township in the development of this new area had an area reserved. Just, you know anything about that?
I do,
And-
I'm sure Brian does too, but it's not in the DDA.
Yeah,
Oh, it's not in the DDA.
The
okay.
DDA stops
Foster Road.
past, just, you know, across from the Deer Lake Inn, not the Racket Club, but the Deer Lake Inn. So we don't capture the money to go that far, so that entranceway sign would be a responsibility of the township itself.
I have made a proposal for the next board meeting where we already select one of the companies. Well, hopefully the board approve it. It's just a proposal where this company is gonna do the work to see the engineering, all the design for what could be the signs, not just for the North Dixie, but also for Sasha and others. But because like San State, the DDA ends on Foster Road, right? A little bit, approximate Foster Road, yeah, on Dixie. That's the north, the farthest.
Yeah, so the place that Dick was referring to is
Is-
outside of it.
Is outside of the
So then
DDA.
that doesn't leave us another location really on the north end, because it would
Right.
be just sweet
Just
if
a
we
town-
could.
It would be a
Right.
township
Yeah.
thing, not a DDA
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
Is that the land at Big Lake Road?
Yeah.
In Dixie?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they're
Yes.
working to secure an easement or a piece of property for the township to put the sign there.
yeah.
Yeah, the current plans actually carve out an area,
Mhm.
one to extend Big Lake to Deer Hill, and then also an area at the corner for some sort of sign. So, or an entrance way,
That's correct.
however the township designs it.
So,
We just wouldn't be funding it through our
right, so it
organization.
wouldn't be like we'd be looking to do something more on the north end then, because that would be kind of like double signing.
Right,
around that
double
side.
signing
It
there
would
is a
just
lot,
be the
yes.
one, and that would be taken care of with the township.
You're
Okay.
absolutely right.
Because I was
about that.
thinking if we kind of developed them at the same time, we might be able to,
No,
you know, do those two together. It'd be a little bit of savings type thing, but
yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Well, I would imagine hopefully we can work with the board to collaborate so that they look similar. You know, you're still even though that spot is not necessarily in the DDA and you're still driving
Still the
into
corridor.
DDA. You're
Right.
still driving
Still
into the
in
corridor.
yeah, we can have a,
I think it
some
would-
communication, yeah, for sure. Yeah, the most important thing is that we're doing something about it. It's kind of a little bit, kind of like, I wouldn't say sad, but it's 2024 and we are talking about finally we're gonna put our welcome sign and thank you to visiting our township, you know. But we're doing it. That's important, and thanks to you guys for helping out.
Yeah, yeah, I do think it's important that our signage be, if not the same, similar, so that
Yeah.
it just defines.
Mhm.
We,
agree.
so, I guess one discussion would be is, when the township develops their signs, which he's talking about, which will be, you know, on Maybe Road, Clarkston Road, everywhere that you could come into the township is, I think you're thinking more of a metal sign that's printed or something, like, you know, Clarkston has a modest sign that says, you know, welcome and then thanks for
Right.
coming or whatever.
Right.
We have, the district itself, though, has M15 across from the chamber, you know, is an access point to us, and so is White Lake Road and Andersonville. So, in some discussion, so that they would have clarity of where they want to put their style of signs, we would want to have a discussion of, do we want we can't do north side of Dixie, you know, hopefully they would follow suit with architecture or design elements, but we should also have a discussion, I think, about coming out of the village into the corridor and coming from White Lake Road into the Andersonville to White Lake, in case we wanted to promote our theme or do something a little fancier or something for we have 3 access points to the township in our district, just saying that. So I just don't want to forget to think about our 2, that we might have an opportunity to spruce them up a little bit to another level, you know, for our corridor, especially if we decide to go with an internal theme of the district inside the township theme, you know.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Any other comments?
No.
All right. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Okay. Second.
All right. All those in favor?
Okay.
All right. Let's get out of here.
Thank you.
Wow, that was
All right.
Fast. And you're
Short.
good.